But a big game is coming your way. Pittsburgh and Seattle. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with the legendary number 11 of the New York Giants, Phil Simms. Love the matchup. All excited. The two teams have met in Super Bowl 40, trying to keep hopes alive for Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, I love the matchup of the game, but I also love some of the matchups on the field. Antonio Brown, Pittsburgh's wide receiver, against Richard Sherman. It doesn't get better than that.
All right, this game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. The Seahawks had the choice, and they elected to kick it away with Hauschka putting it on a tee. And presumably ready to send it down to Jacoby Jones, who was just claimed off waivers November the 5th after being released by San Diego. Hauschka will not give Jacoby a chance to touch the football. So we'll bring out Ben Roethlisberger and his first ever visit to the Emerald City. Coming off that remarkable performance week 10, 379 yards in relief of Landry Jones. No one would have thought that he could be upright for that game. Called into emergency duty early in the game, put together a monster performance. Welcome some of the audience here just in time for the first snap after a touchback on the opening kick. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson all on hand here in Seattle. Here's the pass over to Heath Miller, and he's bumped out after a gain of about 7. Matchup to watch on this offensive line. Alejandro Villanueva going against Cliff Averill most of the day. Of course, Antonio Brown has had, over the last 2 games, 27 total catches. Remarkable. Including over 400 yards. It's the first Steeler to have over 400 yards in a 2-game span in team history. 2nd and 3. Here's Roethlisberger. That one jarred out of the hands of Heath Miller by Bobby Wagner. The Seattle defense up front. Again, that matchup. Averill against Villanueva. KJ Wright having quite a season. Wagner in on that last play. And Shed gets the start for Kerry Williams. They made a change in the secondary. Shed, the 4th-year player, coming in for Kerry Williams as a starter. 3rd and 3 for the Steelers. And Roethlisberger's going for the long ball, and it's knocked out of the hands at the last moment. That was Shed down on the coverage, as it looked like just for a second that Bryant might come down with it.
Well, they put all the receivers to the left side, making the defense back up. But Ben Roethlisberger, the best thing he's done this year, of course, throwing the football well, playing well, but the deep throws down the field, he has been on target. Deshaun Shed, great play by him.
Jordan Berry to punt it to Tyler Lockett, the dangerous rookie return man, who signals fair catch at the 30. 43-yard punt brings out Russell Wilson. And the 5-5 Seahawks, who have led in the 4th quarter of every game this year. They've squandered 4th quarter leads in all the losses. His offensive line shapes up like this. They feel like things have solidified now that Patrick Lewis has taken hold of the center position. And Thomas Rawls, the rookie, 2nd leading rookie running back in the league behind Gurley of St. Louis, coming up 209 yards on the ground against the 49ers last Sunday. And Rawls is at the near side, lined up wide. Here's the pass to Lockett, who just had the fair catch, the rookie 3rd rounder from Kansas State, pickup of 11.
Soft coverage by the Steelers and an easy read for Russell Wilson. They want to get rid of the football on time. That's what this offense wants to do. And when you play soft coverage, nobody over the receiver, makes it easy for Russell Wilson.
Now Rawls lines up behind Wilson. Something you might see a lot of today, the handoff to the rookie from Central Michigan. And he spins and collects a nice gain here with his first carry. Give him 6. Cameron Hayward, one of the anchors on this newly constructed defensive line. Phil will talk about how that's shaped up now for the Steelers for the future. All first-round picks at linebacker, with Dupree moving into the lineup, and the safeties, including Mike Mitchell, have played well this year for Pittsburgh. Here's 2nd and 4. It's Rawls again, and he is into the secondary before Will Allen helped finish him off, but it's another nice gainer. This one's 17.
How about this for a free agent running back inside? You see Lewis getting the good block down the field to center. But Rawls, why is he here? Why did they want him as a free agent? Because he fits the style of this offense. Kind of reminds him of a young Marshawn Lynch. Runs with power and can make people miss.
And again, for those who don't know, Marshawn Lynch is going to be out for about a month after having a sports hernia surgery this past week. Here's the pass off the hands of Rawls. We talked with Rawls about how he has learned to catch the football and had a good game last week receiving it. That one, though, is not an easy catch. Rawls, you said it, undrafted after playing his final year at Central Michigan, starting his career at the University of Michigan. Played there for 3 years. Well, started only once.
Tremendous in preseason. Once he got the chance, when Marshawn Lynch got beat up, he has taken advantage of it big time.
2nd and 10 from the Pittsburgh 36, and whistles. Walt Anderson's crew on hand here today.
Ball start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Russell Okun, flag for that. I was about to mention about Tuitt and Hayward, McClendon over the nose, and starting to remind you of some of the good Pittsburgh defensive lines of not that long ago.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about Brett Kiesel, Aaron Smith, guys that played on that defensive line for so many years, and you got it right. Cameron Hayward and Tuitt have played very well the last 4 or 5 games.
That is Fred Jackson. Longtime Buffalo Bill picks up 3. That's Tuitt on the tackle.
The big thing for the Steelers defense, what do they want to do here today? Their number one key. We hear it every time we do a Seattle game, right? What is it? We got to keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. If we can do that, we got a chance, because they believe their defensive linemen inside can beat the center in both guards for Seattle.
Well, Mike Tomlin's 9th season as the Pittsburgh head coach. His defense, 3rd and 11, and on Wilson, and decking him back at the 47. That was Cameron Hayward, along with the likes of Shazier, and a loss of 8.
Well, Shazier is probably the fastest linebacker in the NFL on the outside. Coming inside, that's Lawrence Timmons. And they just collapse the pocket. They overwhelm the inside of the offensive line of Seattle. That's where they want to attack, and their first blitz worked well.
So they bring in John Ryan now. End over end. Not that far past the 20, but a good hop. And touchdown at the 14-yard line by Jeremy Lane. Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play and score, every game and every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now at cbssports.com/mobile. So what looked like a promising start for the Seattle offense. Rawls ripping off a couple of nice runs. Suddenly the Steelers defense stiffened, got the sack, and now a second series here for Roethlisberger and company. D'Angelo Williams wide to the right side with Sherman on him. They're going to pass it in the direction of Brown.
Well, you know, Jim, we had a chance to talk to Mike Tomlin, talk to some of their coaches. The one thing they are not underestimating the crowd noise here in Seattle. Not just the crowd noise, but how their team carries that momentum on the field. So the point being, Ben Roethlisberger, make a decision, get rid of the football, don't hold it too long, because that's where the sacks and the fumbles come from.
They haven't run it yet. 4 plays, 4 passes. Tomlin telling us they wanted to be very cautious, particularly at the very start of this game, but it's going to be a 5th straight drop back, and a little dump off pass to Williams will pick up about 4. Into the arms of KJ Wright.
They love it when you throw it short. The Seattle defense, they read the quarterback. You throw it short, they converge on it, just like we saw there. A lot of defenders around the ball carrier.
Like to welcome the audience who saw the Jets beat Miami today. Big game by Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson here in Seattle. 3rd and 6 for the Steelers. And that's their first down. Second possession of the game for Pittsburgh. After an opening 3 and out, and Steelers then punted away. Seattle picked up a couple of first downs, then had the punt. That's a 9-yard pass play to Miller.
Boy, KJ Wright gets the big hit. How about that back there in the secondary 3-man rush? Are looking at the quarterback, Michael Bennett. A little different look, trying to get all 8 defenders watching the quarterback. Good strong throw by Roethlisberger.
So we move inside 10 minutes for those of you just joining us. Steelers play action fake. And here's a little pass complete to Roosevelt Nix. These teams find themselves in similar positions. They're both way behind their division leaders. First on the AFC side, Pittsburgh coming into the week in the 5th slot, the first wild card. Cincinnati, their division leader, has already won today convincingly over St. Louis.
Good job.
Basically, the winner of this game today, Phil, will be in position of the top 6. The loser will be just on the outside. As Williams gets the carry on 2nd and 4, and a nice little patient move to pick up the first.
I like what they're doing so far. When you watch the Steelers offense, Roethlisberger getting rid of the football, and they're not making it too tough for the tackles. And the big one they're worried about, and you should be, Villanueva, the left tackle, a tight end in college. They converted him to a tackle out there playing, has some tough matchups today. But with the quarterback getting rid of the football quick, it's gotten him off to a good start, gives him confidence.
And that 1st and 10. Down the middle, and another throw back to Miller, who Roethlisberger's been going to now 4 targets so far in this game, and that's 3 catches. This one for 17.
Well, a lot of focus on the outside receivers, and this is going to open things up for Heath Miller. That's where people are hurting the Seattle defense. Down the seams. Everybody that plays them, it's plays just like that. Richard Sherman worried about Antonio Brown. Everybody else looking at Bryant. Heath Miller wide open down the middle.
Here's Antonio Brown settling in on that left side on a 1st down throw. And that's again a completion to one of the backs, Will Johnson. 6 completions so far for Roethlisberger in this game, none to a receiver so far. We saw the AFC standings. Here's the NFC side with Seattle coming in behind Green Bay, and a fast-falling Atlanta, which was defeated by Minnesota today. A Seattle win would put them, at least at the end of the week, into that top 6, into that wild card position. The 2nd and 5, and Williams again working it well up the middle. And he's got a 1st down near the 31.
Well, nice drive. Shotgun offense. We've seen some throws underneath the center. Ben Roethlisberger's been dropping back. This time they run the football right up the middle, and that's the strength of this offensive line. I think Cody Wallace has done a good job at center. David DeCastro, the right guard. Foster at left guard. D'Angelo Williams. A good lane to run in.
4 first downs on this drive. Sticks are at the 31. Now they get it for the first time into the hands of Antonio Brown. Give him 2. Wednesday on CBS, a heartbreaking event will shake these doctors to their core. Don't miss a new Code Black Wednesday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. You have been for the last couple of days. So eager to see Sherman and Brown face to face.
Hard to get them matched up together because the Steelers have come out in so many different formations. Hard to keep track of Antonio Brown. Right now, he's not in the game.
Yep, he's on the sidelines. Roethlisberger's hit his last 6 passes. He's going to hand it off to Williams. And he is shoved back by Bobby Wagner, along with Michael Bennett and others. Since the start of last season, Antonio Brown's numbers are staggering. 208 receptions, moving in on 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns. To think he had 284 against Oakland 2 games ago, 139 in the last game against Cleveland, and again 27 catches over the last 2 games. As he again moves around a little bit. He's got Sherman right up against him in the slot left. 3rd and 5. Down the field they go, and not turning around in time. Right in the area of Bryant and Brown. I don't know what that was, Phil.
Well, they tried to put him in the slot. He's in the way. What I was watching, here he goes up the sideline. Bryant, yeah, you got to get out of the way. And if Ben Roethlisberger could throw it up the field, that is going to be probably a touchdown. Or you could have called right there. You could have called pass interference against Sherman. Definitely made contact before the football got there.
Chris Boswell, their 4th place kicker of the year. It's hit 14 out of 15. This from 44. And he knocks it through. Steelers strike first. Speaking of strikes, back and forth they go. After Martavius Bryant ran the wrong route, watch Roethlisberger come over and talk to him on the sideline. Could have been called for a horse collar.
So it's really, well, you can see that everybody's talking to him. And here's what happens when you watch it. 2 guys in the same spot. It was supposed to be a clear out by Bryant and let Antonio Brown go down the sideline. It looks like he had position on Richard Sherman where he's going to run by him, like I said earlier, Jim, for a touchdown. Could have cost him 4 points. Now Ben Roethlisberger settling him down like,
yep.
Yeah, okay, it's a long game. There's no doubt who the general is out there, and that's Ben Roethlisberger.
Trying to lead. Short kick. Gives Lockett the chance to race across the 30. Finished off by Brandon Boykin, 30-yard run back. Brett Kiesel's here. You're right.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Bose. Music deserves Bose. And by Ram Trucks. Guts. Glory. Ram.
An icon of Seattle, the Space Needle, built over a half-century ago. Here come the Seahawks now with their 2nd possession. And Rawls bouncing around on the right side before McClendon is able to finish them off. Gain of 2. Reminder, Thursday night we're on CBS and NFL Network. Green Bay and Detroit from Ford Field. And then in 2 weeks' time, Minnesota and Arizona on NFL Network only. Green Bay and Detroit, these teams going in opposite directions, with the Lions recently winning at Lambeau Field. And again, we'll be at Ford Field on Thursday night for that one. That's Rawls ducking under. And Rawls has the first down. He got away from Will Allen, who had come up to make the tackle, but give him 10.
It's a big play. Will Allen, number 20. Right here's the cutback. You get solid contact, but you can't get your arms around him. And that's, look, we've seen that from Rawls. Every time we watched him play, Pete Carroll thrilled with what he's doing. And that's the heart of this football team, especially on offense, is power running. Rawls giving it to him.
Well, here he goes again. Quick cut. Give him 6. You know, last week he had 7 runs of at least 10 yards. He's already got 2 today. It totaled 209 on 30 rushes, plus a touchdown on the ground touchdown reception.
I'll say this, the fact that he is the man, and we talked to him yesterday, like any player in sports, the more they give him the ball, he says, I can feel the defense. And what he means, he can make the right cuts.
Wilson's pass, knocked down, incomplete, looking for Baldwin, but back to Rawls. That was the second best rushing performance in Seattle history behind a Sean Alexander one-game performance, and he topped Kurt Warner's rookie mark, most yards rushing in a game by a Seattle rookie.
Forget that. He is what, Jim? A free agent.
Yeah, nobody drafted him.
The running back position, I don't know how you judge it. It's so different from college football. You can get a star as a free agent at the running back position.
Seattle was on the phone with him right after the draft ended. Here's a 3rd and 4. With Timmons giving chase on Wilson. He has to throw it away. So good pressure by the Pittsburgh defense takes Seattle off the field.
Here's the difference between Pittsburgh's defense and many that play Seattle. 94 coming on the blitz. Here he is, but Russell Wilson great at escaping, getting out of the pocket, but there are many guys on that Steeler defense who can outrun Russell Wilson, and that's saying something.
Well, you said that fast defenses give him trouble.
They do. So when he escapes, fast defense gets there quick. He can't run, can't find the open receiver down the field.
Jacoby Jones lets it go over his head, and it's down at around the 7-yard line. Initially touched by Jeremy Lane. He batted it back. 40-yard punt, well done by John Ryan. Steelers will start inside the 10. Today's Next Gen stats are presented by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world. Mike Tomlin gathered his secondary together during that timeout.
He's giving them a mouthful, or I should say an earful. He is upset. Somebody made a mistake in that secondary, and they probably got away with it. And he is just trying to correct it on the sideline before Seattle takes advantage of it.
Roethlisberger throws from the goal line, and again it's back to Miller for the 4th time here in the opening quarter. Let's take a look at Next Gen stats presented by Esurance. You got all that speed on the outside. It's interesting to look at it. The Next Gen stats show it's the fastest wide receiver trio in the NFL, and the fastest of the 3, Martavis Bryant.
Well, that'll back a defense off, and that's one of the reasons why you see so many short passes by the Steelers. Defenses play deep. They're scared. They give you the short, easy throws.
You saw the top speed achieved by those 3 at some point during the season, as Roethlisberger tried almost a little jump pass in the direction of Antonio Brown, but Bobby Wagner was there.
And one thing, I saw how fast that pocket was collapsing. And Richard Sherman, good little shot. Oh, he gets caught. But the big thing is Bobby Wagner, the free defender in the middle of the field, helped Richard Sherman out that time.
Yeah, it looked like Wagner had a hold of Brown for just a moment. 3rd and 2. Flags are down as Roethlisberger goes deep. Incomplete. Sherman and Thomas. What a tandem. They both were back there defending.
Well, we're seeing this in the league a lot. Quarterback so trained. Defense jumps off sides, go
Ruling
deep.
on the field is an incomplete pass. Offside, number 72, defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So Michael Bennett jumping early and gets Pittsburgh a new set of downs.
Boy, beautiful throw, Michael Bennett. Of course, you're not going on the quarterback sound. You're just trying to time it up. Because there's no way Ben Roethlisberger can yell above this crowd.
They send DeAngelo Williams to the top of your screen. Empty out the backfield for Ben. And there is DeAngelo. Bouncing off a big hit and going for 8. It was Earl Thomas who lowered the helmet, and Williams bounced off of the hit.
Earl Thomas, 29. Look how fast he comes in there. And he's just not going for the big hit. He had his arms out, but he can't make the tackle.
2nd and 2. Open. Nice move there by Brown, as he spun around and was able to get the space he needed off Richard Sherman for 16.
That tells you everything about Antonio Brown. Watch this, full speed, never slows down, turns, reach backs, catches the football, and then goes forward. Ben Roethlisberger has done this many times against Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman, so tall, long arms, hard to throw it over the top of him against a small receiver. That was a great adjustment by Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown.
And that matchup at the top. 1st and 10. And there's Wheaton with the grab at the 35. Right in front of Earl Thomas for 21.
This is like watching the Arizona Cardinals play this defense. They are just attacking them right now with formations, types of different throws. And that time the linebackers did not get deep enough.
And the Cardinals of Bruce Arians, former offensive coordinator of Pittsburgh, put up 39 on them here a couple of weeks ago.
Of course, Todd Haley been here many times as a coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
Here's the wide receiver screen to Bryant. And give him 4. Tuesday on CBS, everyone's favorite red-nosed reindeer in high definition. Get the family together for the special presentation, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Tuesday, 8, 7 Central, only CBS.
Well, let me say this. Pittsburgh wanted to come out, be a little conservative, make sure things didn't get out of control early. Well, they got over that feeling quick, didn't they? They are attacking this Seattle defense.
2nd and 6. Last minute of the first quarter. And that's over the head of Antonio Brown. Sherman was right with him.
Yeah, really good shot that time of the matchup. You just see the height and everything of Richard Sherman, and there's just so little room where to throw the football. And look how fast Richard Sherman reads the receiver's eyes, turns and looks for the football.
Sherman's up on Brown right at the line of scrimmage. They're on the near side. 3rd and 6. Back to Miller. Chancellor prevents the first. What a tackle by Cam Chancellor.
Cam Chancellor has really been outstanding here in the last couple of weeks.
Well, the Steelers rush to the line here.
I was going to say this is an automatic field goal, but Mike Tomlin, 2-point conversions, 4th down tries, not afraid to do it.
He's got a play he likes. That's why he does something like this. And maybe just trying to draw him off sides. We're at the end of the quarter. End of the quarter. Took a while for everyone on the field to realize it. It had been over for a few seconds. Steelers with a field goal in the opening 15. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. And by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Recently, a few Steelers rookies took time out during the week to visit the UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. Saw Bud Dupree and others. And Mike Tomlin, to start the quarters, decided to bring out Boswell for the field goal. This is going to be 45. Oh, hold on a minute here. Landry Jones is in there. He's the deep man.
Defense, though, they reacted well. Going to punt it? No, they're going to go for it.
Here is Landry Jones, the backup quarterback, coming back to the other side. And he's intercepted by Lane. And Jeremy Lane takes off inside the 40, stumbles down at the 25. He was about to try to make a cut on Jones. That pass was thrown in direction of the left tackle, Villanueva, and Jeremy Lane was never fooled.
Terrible decision by the quarterback, but look at the Seattle defense. They were ready, not caught out of position. So Landry Jones is going to split that way. They're going to try to sneak out. He comes across the field. Boy, just didn't see Lane, who back for his first game. Good discipline, stayed in the right spot. Got too excited and finally fell down.
Probably was going to take it all the way.
Yeah, you're talking about being an aggressive coach. We talked to Mike Tomlin last night. All the two-point conversions, everything they try and do, and he's coming to this game with the mindset of being aggressive. But that was just a terrible decision by the thrower.
And are they happy to have Lane back? Just returning to the roster here the last couple of days, injured in the Super Bowl. That pass incomplete, tipped at the line.
That was a blitz that time. I think we see what's the boy. Look how high Russell Wilson releases the football that time to get it over the top.
It's like McClendon may have gotten a hand on it.
Yep, he did.
Second down from the Pittsburgh 24, trying to take advantage of the takeaway. Hurtling up ahead to the 19 is Rawls.
Russell Wilson had the defense in a bind that time. He didn't know what to do, honestly. He could have kept the football or handed off. And this is one thing they got to be a little leery of. Look at 95. That's Jarvis Jones. He's in no man's land. He makes the tackle, but it's for a 4-yard gain.
3rd and 6. Wilson's missed on his last 4 attempts. Got it this time. And that's Lockett. That speed, that quickness showing through right there for a gain of 11.
Coming all the way underneath, and what they do, they really set a pick. Baldwin got in the way of Russ Cockrell, and Cockrell could not fight his way through it. That's why Tyler Lockett wide open.
Gives him 1st and goal to go at the 9.
Not a pick, a moving block. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Here's Rawls. Tried to hide for a moment, and then Timmons fell on him. Going behind Gary Gilliam for 6.
When you watch Rawls run, there's a little bit of the twitch. You see it side to side, Jim, but it's always going forward, so you get both. You know, he's just not a power runner. When he sees the opportunity, he will make a little move and slide around defenders and get those extra yards. It's amazing to see the running back now compared to what we saw week 3 against Chicago. What improvement as a runner.
On 2nd and goal. It's Rawls. He got hit and still fought for an extra yard. Got hit by Hayward. And flags are thrown into the pile.
Jarvis Jones made a big hit.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 64, offense. Diving on the pile, that's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, 64 is J.R. Sweezy, the right guard. There's Cameron Hayward, Jarvis Jones. Then watch how late. There it comes over the top, and listen, that's a good call.
Pete Carroll didn't think so.
Nah, in disgust. I think when you do that, you're more disgusted at your player than the call. You could, even where we are, I could see the late jump on the pile. That's a mistake.
It's been one of the issues for Seattle this season, breaking down in the red zone. They're 31st in the league in touchdown conversion in the red zone. Here's a 3rd and goal. Well, they got it this time. It's Baldwin on the receiving end of the Russell Wilson pass.
It's their number 1 play inside the 30 when they're looking to score. You've got to know that as a defense. They're going to send a guy up the seam. Here's the inside guy. Watch him go up. Watch the defense separate. Nobody even close to Tyler Lockett. I'm sorry, that was Doug Baldwin on the catch.
Whose responsibility?
Well, really, it's the corner, believe it or not, way outside. Somebody's got to put a hand on him The corner's got to read the inside receiver, leave his guy, and then take Doug Baldwin.
Hauschka, who missed 2 extra points last week, nails this one. Short touchdown drive as they came up with the pick off the Pittsburgh trickery, the interception, eventually ending with a Baldwin touchdown grab. Doug Baldwin with his 4th touchdown of the season, set up by Jeremy Lane. Or are they happy to have him back after that injury?
Yep.
Vicious injury, ACL and other issues from the Super Bowl. Wasn't even able to really be ready by the start of the season. They got him practicing during the bye, and he's back on the roster already making plays.
Him and Deshaun Shedd already played big, or have played big so far in this game. The new corner.
That is Jacoby Jones from the goal line. And a former Raven star has his best return as a Steeler out to the 36 for a 36-yard run back. And there was a flag thrown, I believe, at the back end of this, because I thought it might have been a horse collar. Cam Chancellor was reaching in there. And there is a flag. There is a flag.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle, number 31, defense of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, be first down, timeout.
There it is. This will put the Steelers actually on the Seahawks side of the field at the 49. Phil, that fake field goal, one thing about it, it came at the quarter change, and is not going to fool a lot of people when you have a chance during a timeout to see the personnel group that runs onto the field, unlike the normal flow of a game.
Well, look what they did. They got the shift, they got the motion, the quarterback rolling one way, but the defense, I think you're right. They saw the personnel, they were ready for it, nobody fooled.
Here's a handoff to D'Angelo Williams. See, normally the holder is the punter, Jordan Berry, but when you see number 3 out there instead of number 4 running onto the field, you know something's up. Now, Roethlisberger in that first quarter, 19 attempts. That's the second most Ben has ever had in an opening quarter in his career. Only topped by the 20 throws he had against New England in a game back in 2011 in the first quarter. 2nd and 6. Nice grab there by Bryant, who stretches out for the first, and they're going to mark him short of it. Well, maybe right on it. We'll see.
Well, Bryant, tight formation. You really don't expect an outcut like that to the sideline when they have that bunch. So really nice rhythm throw by Ben Roethlisberger.
They're going to bring out the sticks.
Anytime you're opposite of Richard Sherman, you can expect some footballs coming your way.
And they say inches short.
Well, the way the Steelers are playing this game so far, if I was on defense, I would not fall asleep. When I say that, I mean he might fake it, go deep, knowing if they don't get it, they can try to run it on 4th down.
Saw him have a last-second word with D'Angelo Williams. He's lined up right behind Roethlisberger, who will sneak it for the first. Jim Nance, Bill Sims, and Tracy Wolfson on hand here. Tracy.
Well, Jim, playing at CenturyLink is a new experience for these Steelers. Only 5 of these players have ever played here before, and that doesn't include Ben Roethlisberger. He told us he didn't prepare any differently, but he knows that the noise is a big deal. As for Mike Tomlin, he told us that he needed to start off smart and safer than normal. Well, guys, that fake field goal, the interception, certainly not safe and certainly got the crowd into this one now, Jim.
Well, the Steelers have a new set of downs here, and they're going long. Going long and incomplete. for Martavis Bryant. Shed was with him. Shed's pumped up about the way he defended that play.
Well, he's pumped up. Martavis Bryant, you got to be careful. At first I would say never. Shed never finds the football, does turn, but also Bryant had his hand out, pushing off on Shed.
Again, Shed getting the start over Kerry Williams. Second down, pressure, unloading to Miller. And with a flag out, that's an 8-yard hookup. And if it stands, it'll be Miller's 6th catch.
Offside, number 51, defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So they'll take the 5 yards, make it 2nd and 5 instead of a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Bruce Irvin on the outside. We thought he might not even be dressed today to play, but what a jump he had. Richard Sherman once again right up on the line of scrimmage against Antonio Brown, not giving him any space. He can't believe it when he watches his Steelers play that everybody backs off and gives him all that room underneath.
2nd and 5. What a pass. Complete to the 14 to Wheaton. Roethlisberger with some heat threads that one for 19.
It's a really terrific throw. He sees the coverage on the outside coming in, so he pulls Wheaton up, makes him turn around, make the catch, and be able to protect himself at the same time.
The give to Williams. Moves laterally and then darts ahead to the 10. Tonight he was held by Cuba in prison for years, and he tells his story for the first time on 60 Minutes. Plus the Daredevils, who are taking on one of the most dangerous mountains in the world. That is tonight only. CBS. 2nd and 6. Brown and Sherman meet at the top. Bryant at the bottom. And look at this, end around. That's Bryant breaking a tackle and somehow finding enough room to negotiate the sideline and a touchdown.
The speed is what made it happen. The defense, they are sitting back in a zone. They got guys in spots to make the tackle. And how about that? Bryant just so fast and so quick gets around Earl Thomas, who of course wasn't even blocked by anybody. Looks like he does get in too. Good hustle by Cam Chancellor. Inbounds. Puts in. Is the football across that pylon? That's very close. So close, I think they're going to rule it a touchdown.
Boy, you never would imagine just watching it
that he was going to get there.
He was going to have enough of real estate there to be able to somehow tiptoe down the sideline, but he kicked it into another gear. Touchdown confirmed.
Well, when I saw it, I said this is not going to work because the defense, but speed can even beat a good defense.
Out of the Barry hold to Boswell. Extra point is good. Cassius Marsh had the play. This would have been a loss. Then he got around Thomas and even Chancellor for the touchdown. Heath Miller's had a busy first half with 5 catches, but he was taken to the locker room. And he was hustling to the locker room during that timeout. Martavis Bryant, second-year man from Clemson. He had never rushed for a touchdown in his first season and a half in the league, and never even had one in Clemson. Rush touchdown, that is. Lockett. He is smashed rather quickly by Jarvis Jones. Only a 17-yard run back. Terrence Garvin also into that return. 10-7, Pittsburgh.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. Walmart. Walmart has everything you need to share wonder every day. And by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Back in Seattle, the 15th largest metropolitan area in the country, and look who's going in. A little wobbly at that, Ryan Shazier.
Yeah. Big deal. Fastest linebacker maybe in the NFL. They wanted him today to help chase down Russell Wilson. So he's going to go inside most likely and have to go through concussion protocol to see if he can come back in this game.
There's the give. And that is James Harrison in on the tackle along with Vince Williams, who has come in for Shazier. How about a little next-gen look at the max speed?
Well, the big one is at good speed. It's turning the corner what's impressive, but we saw it. Earl Thomas missing the tackle, and at the corner, why he was able to score, Marcus Wheaton getting an excellent block on Deshaun Shedd.
Got it up to about 19 miles an hour.
Going around the curve, that's pretty good. Even I know that.
That's Rawls coming over to the near side on 2nd and 9. Wilson forced to come out of the pocket, and that'll go as a sack. William Gay was in the area.
Really good job by the Steeler defense, and that's what they want to do. Make Russell Wilson stand in the pocket and make the throw. So everybody's looking at him. Look at Hayward. Cameron Hayward so fast. William Gay makes the tackle. But what athletic ability by 97 there, huh, Jim? You could see all the time he was watching Russell Wilson to make sure he doesn't get that extra time to throw it down the field. Good design by Keith Butler, the defensive coordinator.
Keith Butler's defense 28th in the league against the pass. Passing play here on 3rd and 10. And Jimmy Graham with the stiff arm on Cockrell. He's got the first down. He's got 17.
Well, they want good job by Russell Wilson standing in the pocket. James Harrison hit Jimmy Graham, but Russ Cockrell just gave him too much space. I mean, he started out 3 or 4 yards behind him, and Jimmy Graham is as fast as a wide receiver. You're not going to make that room up.
Look what he does, though. Cockrell does with the stiff arm.
Wow.
He just takes the hand and the arm and says, "You're going to stiff arm me? I'm just going to pull you right down off the limb." Down throw. Did it hit the ground? They rule it a catch. A catch by Curse. Seattle hurries to the line, trying to beat the replay.
I wouldn't. Well,
flag is out. Red flag, that is, from the Pittsburgh sideline.
That quick look, I would say I wouldn't challenge it because it was.
Looked like it'd be hard to overturn it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happened so fast. It's no look that even us, we looked at it real quick. You couldn't see clearly that it was one way or the other, and I wouldn't have wasted the challenge.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
Play went for 7 yards. We're back. Will the catch by
After
Curse
during
hold
the
up?
play, the pass is incomplete. It's 2nd and 10 on the 32-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 6:32.
Here's the shot. You can tell.
Pittsburgh will not be charged with a timeout.
His arms definitely were not underneath it. He didn't have possession. And whoever's giving Mike Tomlin information up top, he's got some set of eyes. They were good. And quick.
It didn't have a whole lot of time to pull that trigger, but they get it right, and it's a 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 3 with 6.5 to go in the first half. Quick toss to Baldwin. Cockrell is there, as well as Timmons. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks a lot. As you suspected, Ryan Shazier was taken into the locker room and is going through the NFL concussion protocol. As for Heath Miller, he's in the locker room. It is a rib injury. His return, though, is probable, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Once again, we saw the speed of his Steelers defense to throw outside and how fast they got there. everybody, when they have success throwing against this Steelers defense, they throw it to the outside where the coverage is usually off. So far, Seattle not testing those sidelines with deep throws.
Boy, they barely beat the play clock. 3rd and 10 and open for another first down grab. Jimmy Graham. I'll tell you, Pete Carroll thought they weren't going to get the snap away in time. He was trying to get a timeout from the sideline.
Right down the middle. Nobody over the top of Jimmy Graham, and Russell Wilson can deliver the football quick and with power, and just not enough time for the defense to get there.
That's twice now that Graham has had 18-yard receptions on 3rd down. Go to him again. Juggled it for a moment. He's got 3. Look at Jimmy Graham. His targets among tight ends tied for the 6th most. Again, these are by his standards, at least what he did down in New Orleans. These are not the same kind of numbers we're used to, but they're not asking him to do the same.
Well, they're
thing.
not going to be the same. A whole entirely different team, the way they go about it. But I'll say this: they're finding ways to get him the football now. He truly is a big part of this offense, and also he's blocking a lot better than he did early in the year.
Well, they weren't able to block on this occasion. James Harrison, who had that burst of yesteryear right there, crossed the line in a hurry and knocks back Rawls for a loss of 4.
92, you're right. He is a tremendous, even at his age, the one thing he has not lost is those arms. And those arms can take tackles and hold them up, and he was in great position to stop the run.
Harrison, one of 4 Steelers still on the roster on the Pittsburgh team that defeated Seattle back in Super Bowl 40, along with Heath Miller, Big Ben, and Greg Warren, the long snapper. They got a whistle. And it's a pre-snap penalty on Seattle, the 4th one of this game against the Seahawks. By the way, no Seahawks remain from the Seattle NFC Championship team that, again, faced Pittsburgh in Detroit 10 years back.
Well, that time Russell Wilson, with the hard count, wanted to get a look at the defense. He got the look, but the problem is the hard count and the blitz, the charging of the defense towards the offensive line made him move.
3rd and 16. They've gone to Graham twice in these situations on this drive. Not this time. Instead, it's another reception by Curse. Actually, the first one by Curse was taken away. This one's going to hold up, and it's a big one for the first down.
Really good job. Nice decision by Russell Wilson to throw the football inside. The release outside, not much room. He jumps in, and a perfect throw. And, of course, Pete Carroll, he lacks emotion, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He just not quite, well, of course, I'm kidding, sarcastic. He's always into it. An emotional leader himself with his team.
The team feeds off of it, too. Here's Wilson with the pass play to Kevin Smith. How about Smith being left alone?
Here comes the running back. He looks like down the field, and this is what happens. This time, Blake is going to fall inside Jim to get the second receiver, which we saw earlier. They gave up a touchdown. See how quick he sees the inside receiver go up the field? That's why he moves, and Russell Wilson was ready with a laser throw.
Smith's first catch of the season, just put on the roster out of the University of Washington. And it's another touchdown. Another touchdown pass by Wilson. This one to Curse. The Seahawks complete the long drive.
Let me tell you something. Russell Wilson had his best game of the year last year for many respects. But he is picking up where he left off. That was another great throw because it's on target with power and to the right person.
It completes an 85-yard, 11-play drive in 6.5 minutes. And how about Wilson? He completes 3 third-down passes. They were all 3rd and long. 2 of them to Graham, 1 to Curse, And then he goes back, circles back, and finds Curse for the touchdown.
I'll say this. So watch the extra point. The Steelers wanted to keep him in the pocket. Maybe they better chase him out, because in the pocket, he is deadly so far today.
Seahawks regain the lead at 14-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And by Amazon Fire TV. Change the way you TV.
Russell Wilson just threw for 76 yards on that 85-yard drive. He's hit 9 of his last 10, including a pair of touchdowns. But again, the key to that drive, hitting Graham on 3rd and 10 for 18. Graham again on 3rd and 10 for 18. And then he had the long pass to Curse for 22 on a 3rd and 16. No run back this time for Jacoby Jones. This is Wilson coming off the field.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. The pass protection, the blitzing by the Steelers, different looks, trying to confuse Seattle's offense. It did early, but boy, that last drive was impressive. And they did what most teams are doing to the Steelers. Down the field, but throwing the football towards the sideline. I think that's where they struggle and where the defense is weak.
We heard from Tracy about Heath Miller being checked with a rib injury. He's back on the field. And that's incomplete. Going for Brown. Sherman all over him.
Good changeup by Richard Sherman that time. He doesn't always stand up there face to face. He bails. Look at him watching the quarterback, able to stop, but it's those long arms that allows him to reach around receivers and knock the football down.
.206 to go in the second quarter. Good time. Pass is there, and Bryant fights with Shed, trying to pick up the first. It's close. We have the 2-minute warning in Seattle. Antonio Brown had 2 catches in the first quarter. One went for 2 yards, and this one went for an incompletion. He did have a 15-yard catch. This was it right here. 2 for 17, Phil.
Yeah, so far Richard Sherman, just his height, his long arms, being aggressive at the line of scrimmage, he's winning the battle against Antonio Brown.
3rd and less than a yard. And that's been for the second time sneaking for the first down in this matchup between quarterbacks, each of whom won a Super Bowl their second year in the league. And we're seeing, well, Russell Wilson's already showing a lot here in the first half with the 2 touchdown passes.
Well, he has. Ben Roethlisberger's been pretty sharp himself. You know, this crowd, that defense, and he's finding different ways to do it. Antonio Brown's not getting open, so he's finding other receivers with better matchups.
Roethlisberger able to get free and zing it downfield. Somehow Bryant wasn't able to catch that one. Right in his hands.
Just a beautiful job. We all talk about Russell Wilson and his receivers making adjustments, but when you watch the Steelers, Roethlisberger moves. These receivers are tremendous at changing the routes. That was a big play miss by Bryant.
Steelers have all the timeouts. Jesse James is in at tight end. Miller is out. Here's a second down play on the run. In traffic, it's Wheaton with the grab. And a timeout called by Pittsburgh. .116 remaining in the first half. New set of downs for the Steelers. Roethlisberger, who has not been sacked so far, again buys time. He's got Wheaton open, and he's got the catch at the 15.
Couple things. Ben Roethlisberger moves up in the pocket and looks behind to make sure he's not going to get hit and fumble. And watch 56, Cliff Averill stops and goes, oh, there he is. But the offensive line overall is the story of the first half for the Steelers. Well, what a job by Roethlisberger looking down the field. He saw Wheaton throw his hands up. That drew his attention. Made sure he had time to make the throw and did it.
Pick up a 41 to Wheaton. Coming up the Verizon halftime report. JB and Tony. Martin Boomer checking his fantasy scores. Coach Cowher, all the latest NFL action and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Marcus Wheaton now with 94 yards off 4 catches, while Bryant and Brown have 35 yards combined.
The offensive line, Seattle thought they could overpower it. That was going to be their big advantage. That has not come through so far.
After a second Steeler timeout from the 15. A wobbler, but it's there for Wheaton again. Puts him over 100 and a gain of 9.
Well, you listen, when your number one receiver is guarded by their best player, if that matchup is not the best one you have, then don't force the football to him. And the Steelers are not doing that. They love these other matchups. Wheaton against Burley. Wheaton is fast, quick, and we saw it on that cut.
2nd and 1 from the 6. Williams straight ahead to the end zone for the touchdown.
What a drive. They got the defense, the speed. But how about Cody Wallace, the center? Fires out.
And how about D'Angelo Williams? His 6th rushing touchdown of the season. By the way, the offense still out there, as Mike Tomlin will often do. He's going for the 2.
Right away, they practice this all the time against each other to get everybody fired up before the game. Before practice. No hesitation. I would kick the extra point to go up 3. But he says percentages tell him to go for the 2.
Roethlisberger's pass, it's there for the 2 to Jesse James.
Yeah, that'll fire up the coach too, because he knows when you make decisions like that you can be second guessed. But he says when we do it in practice against our defense, and they do it a lot, he goes, we look at the numbers, and the numbers say we are going to get it more than we don't get it. Boy, Ben Roethlisberger fired up after that drive.
Well, he says when Ben's in there at quarterback, and of course Ben's had these issues. Somehow he has not been lost for the season with a knee and the foot injury. But when Ben's been in there and we go for 2, we're hitting on over 50%. Tomlin loves the strategy. He loves what it does in the practice to get the team going.
Get them going, get them into the practice, and also what it's done, it's really helped Ben Roethlisberger get rid of the football faster, even in the open field, as you see the numbers from the drive.
How about a minute and 14 seconds, the big play, the 41-yard throw to Wheaton, but a minute and 14 to cover the 80 yards.
Well, he talked about, we can hear the concern in Tomlin's voice last night about their offensive line. We're going to be slow on how we get into the football game, but just can't say enough about what they're doing up front. And the play calling by Todd Haley, well, it's kept the Seattle defense off guard all day.
This quarter, we've had 29 total points scored and 4 lead changes. Been a great first half of action here. We'll have the Verizon halftime report again coming up shortly. James Brown and the team back in New York, getting all set to bring you all the highlights.
You know, Jim, you and I talked about it just for a second. So many teams in the league have copied the Seattle Seahawks defense. We got Gus Bradley, of course. You know, he's down in Jacksonville. Dan Quinn in Atlanta. So everybody's got all these plays, and they know the game plan is more distinct what to do against the Seattle defense. And the Steelers, one of those teams that can take advantage of it.
Seahawks with all the timeouts. Get it to Freddie Jackson. He pushes away Cockrell and then gets out of bounds to stop the clock at 50. Heath Miller, who returned to action, and then on that series, he was in for the start of that last series and then was taken out for Jesse James. He's heading back to the locker room early. From behind, they come after Wilson, and he throws it incomplete. That was Jarvis Jones.
Jarvis Jones was tremendous last week. Number 95, top of the screen.
Got a flag right in the area where Wilson
Intentional
released it.
grounding, number 3, offense. Quarterback was out of the pocket, but the football did not get past the line of scrimmage. The loss of down, 3rd down.
That's a good call. Nobody in the area. Here's the line of scrimmage, just looking down there. They force him outside. Well, look at how they're waiting. The football does not get there.
He has a yard short.
It's not only that, there really is nobody in the area is the reason why. And now the Steelers,
Yeah, they could actually still do something themselves.
well, that's right. They're going to, of course, you wait to see what happens on this play. If the clock is moving, they don't get the first down, I'm sure they'll use their timeout. At that time, the coverage was good down the field. The Steelers staying with their plan to make sure Russell Wilson, when he escapes, they're chasing him down.
Not sure why they're taking so long here. The flag is just now picked up.
Has elected not to use a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 35 seconds, and the game clock will start on my signal.
So Wilson had time to go over and talk to Coach Carroll for a moment. Seven penalties on the Seahawks. None in the first half on the Steelers. Baldwin breaks the tackle out of bounds. And exactly what Seattle wanted to see him do.
Nope, not exactly. Saves that timeout for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, it was one of those rules that actually was supposed to go against the offense, but ended up helping them with the 10-second runoff.
So now with 16 seconds, Ryan to punt it to Jacoby Jones. Spiraling kick, but not a lot of hang time. Jones with a wiggle, breaking a tackle to the 40, but the flag is down back at the 30. After a 58-yard punt, 22-yard return. It's going to be a hold against the Steelers.
During the return, holding, number 41, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Pete Carroll takes the headset off. He expects nothing more than a little kneel down here by the opposition after what's been a fast second quarter of lead changes, 4 in all.
Well, it used to be you come out here, this crowd knows this defense. You think, boy, if we can get a chance to get 20 points, we could win the game. But it's changed this year.
Yeah, the noise is still there.
The noise is still there, but the offenses in the NFL here putting this Seattle